Alright, so this is going to be my review of, Dredd Urban Warfare. This was a comic sent to me by my good friend Chris, and Chris, thank you once again, brother. Another part of the Indie Hall. And yeah, so this is the first time I've read a Judge Dredd book, and it's not just any Judge Dredd book, it is a sequel to Dredd, the movie, the awesome comic book movie, one of the best comic book movies, one of the most underrated movies of all time, one of the best action movies of all time. It's a fucking banger of a film. And this is the closest we will ever get to anything in as a sequel. We will. This is what kind of pisses me off, is that this is the closest we will ever get to a sequel with this universe. So, Dredd Urban Warfare. So what is this book? Well, this comic is basically a collection of 3 stories set in that universe, as kind of like, one is a prequel that deals with the origins of Mama, and the other 2 are just kind of like set afterwards. So yeah, and again, it's kind of funny. As much as I love the Judge Dredd universe, I don't have a lot of Judge Dredd stuff. Kind of want to fix that. The problem is that the Judge Dredd comics are so expansive. It's really hard to pick and choose which ones to really read. And like, I know like every Judge Dredd book has had a massive, the book has had a lot of massive writers on it, from Grant Morrison to Garth Ennis to obviously Alan Grant and various other major Matt Wagner and Alan Grant basically have forged that, and even like Al Ewing got his big start in the in those books. Like Al Ewing got got his start in a lot of those comics. So I want to read more. It's just hard to find where to start. Like, what stories are really good. I have seen online, like, reading the essential Judge Dredd books. Like, the ones I really want to read are, the ones I definitely want to read most are the stuff involving the Dark Judges, like Judge Death. Like, I want to read some Dark Judge stories and, go from there. Anyway, so, yeah. If anyone has any other major Judge Dredd fans out there, let me know in the comments below what Dredd books I should pick up. Anyway, so Dredd Urban Warfare. Let's go through this, because it's 3 stories written by Matt Smith, not that Matt Smith, not Doctor Who Matt Smith, Arthur Wyatt, Henry Flint, and Paul Davidson. So, we got 4 writers, 3 stories in here. Let's go through them. Starting off with the first story, involving the origin of Mama. So this is it was briefly mentioned at the Mama was the main villain of the Dredd film, but was basically left to the way they kind of gloss over the origin. In here, in this little short story, it's probably the shortest of these 3 stories. It basically does focus on her, and a very brief, and like showing her time as a prostitute, being beaten on by her pimp Lester, and having someone else with her who helped make the slow-mo drug. It's pretty short, it's pretty simple, to the point, and really really showcases how shitty life is. And if you thought the Mega City one in the main universe was bad, the Dredd universe, like the Carl Urban Judge Dredd universe, is way shittier. Like, I feel like there's a massive disconnect. Like, it's like the Judge Dredd comics that I have read, in like that, the comic Dredd, that universe is pretty shitty and it's pretty awful. But this one feels worse. Like, it feels grimy, it feels gross, it feels like all of that. The second story revolves around these mutants who have psychic powers, who are being scooped up and used as makeshift slaves and sold for body parts. So Dredd and Anderson have to team up and figure that out, while at the same time, Anderson showcases an affinity for these mutants who do have, some of them have psychic powers. And yeah, she also points out that, yeah, we're not really saving them, we're just throwing them back out in the cursed earth. It kind of sucks. And finally, we have a story called Uprise, involving Dredd, that have had, mechanical robots that have been used in the comics. That one I feel like is kind of weak. It's more of a social media kind of story. Nothing really important there. I think my favorite is the second story. Out of the three, I do think this is. I think the second one is definitely my favorite of the set. Do I recommend this? Yeah, if you can find it. If you can find this comic somewhere, like I said, it's kind of sad that this is the only follow-up to Dredd we will probably ever get. I know Carl Urban keeps saying, like, yeah, Dredd 2 is gonna be a thing at some point, but, guys, it's been so long. But then again, there has been a resurgence of, whoever thought we'd get a sequel to, like, Blade Runner, or, a sequel to Maverick, Top Gun. So, I never say never, right? Never say never at this point, especially with these films getting these long overdue sequels. So yeah, if you love the movie, you're probably going to want to read this. Or if you're just a Judge Dredd fan in general. So there you go, guys. Chris, thank you once again for the book. And you guys tell me in the comments below if you've read Dredd Urban Warfare. Let me know in the comments below what you guys thought of it. And once again, I really would love to hear from you guys on... I would really, really love to hear from you all, from all the major Dredd fans, Judge Dredd fans out there, of like, what comics should I start reading up on? But other than that, hope you all enjoyed this. I'm Mr. Multiverse. I'll see you next time in the Multiverse.